Today, I'm going to tell you about a Dutch film called The Student. This is the story of a guy who falls head over heels for his school teacher. How far will he go to win her over? Let's find out. Our story begins with Lana, a married school teacher with a little daughter named Raya. Lana looks like your typical educator, professional, dedicated, caring. But everything changes when Benny enters her class, a handsome but mischievous student. From day one, Benny can't take his eyes off Lana. While she's teaching, he just stares at her like she's the only person in the room. It's obvious this guy has fallen hard for his teacher. And here's where things get complicated. Lana starts noticing his attention, and she's not completely indifferent to it. You can see the internal struggle on Lana's face. She knows this is wrong on every level. Benny is just her student, and she's a married woman. But something about Benny's intense gaze makes her lose control over herself. To avoid his attraction, Lana awkwardly looks away, keeps her distance, and does everything possible to maintain professional boundaries. One morning, Lana walks into class and hands out test papers to all her students. She gives instructions and tells them to begin, but guess what? Benny isn't writing anything. He just sits there staring at his teacher with that same intense look. Lana tries to ignore him and looks away, but the tension hangs in the air and there's nothing the teacher can do about it. After class, Lana drives to pick up her daughter Raya from school. Raya complains that school was boring, and Lana brushes it off with a laugh. But as they get into the car, Lana notices Benny walking his dog nearby. Seeing him, the teacher panics for some reason and rushes to drive away. The next day, things get even weirder. During class, Lana notices two girls watching a movie on their phone and giggling. She asks them to put the phone away, but they ignore her. So Lana confiscates the phone, promising to return it after class. One of the girls mutters, "Old witch," under her breath, making the whole class laugh. Lana threatens to report this to school authorities, but the damage is done. During break, while Lana is drinking tea, she witnesses Benny harassing that rude girl. He pulls things out of her bag and scatters them around. While the poor thing rushes to collect them, Benny destroys her bicycle. This isn't just innocent pranks anymore. This is serious bullying. Lana discusses his behavior with another teacher. She doesn't know how to handle this insufferable boy and the way he looks at her, but the other teacher seems puzzled. She's never dealt with anything like this. Lana asks her to forget about it. Now she'll have to deal with Benny herself. The next day after class, Lana pulls Benny aside. "I want to talk to you." She leads the student into an empty classroom and asks him to sit down. After some small talk, she asks if he's enjoying school, but Benny doesn't answer her questions. Instead, he turns the situation around. "What do you want from me?" Lana tells him she's worried about him, especially about his bullying behavior toward other students. She places her hand on his knee and says, "If you need any help, just let me know." But Benny looks at her hand and starts smiling strangely. Lana immediately pulls her hand away. "I don't think you really want to help me," Benny says with that knowing smile. Lana insists she's concerned about his future since he failed the last test. Benny just laughs. "Stop this nonsense and tell me what you really want from me." Lana can't find an answer. She ends the meeting and prepares to leave. But before leaving him, Lana asks him to think about her words. The next morning, after her usual jog, Lana stops by a lake to catch her breath. Later, after classes end, she notices Benny's bag lying on the floor. She looks around to make sure no one's watching. And then she does something shocking. She takes Benny's sweater out of his bag and smells it with pleasure, then quickly puts it back. Hearing footsteps, Lana rushes to hide in the bathroom and pretends to drink water. But when she lifts her head, she sees Benny standing right in front of her. She's embarrassed, and Benny suddenly touches her. She tries to push his hands away, but he just smiles and continues. Then Benny steps forward and moves too close to his teacher. For a moment, Lana freezes, unsure how to react. But then reality hits her like a slap. She pushes Benny away hard and says, "This can never happen between us again." She even threatens to expel him from school. "You're just playing games," she throws at him before leaving. Benny shouts after her, "You want us to be together." But Lana insists that she cannot and will not fall in love with any of her students. The next day in the school hallway, Benny asks to meet Lana again after class, but she refuses. As they walk toward the stairs, Lana apologizes for what happened between them. She tells Benny he needs to get her out of his head and heart. Then she leaves. Later in the parking lot, Lana discovers that her car's side mirror is broken, and scratches are visible all along the body. She gets into the car in complete despair and drives the damaged car to pick up her daughter from school. At home, while Lana works in the garden, her husband Ward notices the scratches on her car. He asks how it happened. Lana lies to him that she hit a lamppost. But Ward is doubtful. How could a lamppost leave such scratches? Lana brushes it off, saying it's a common thing. The next day in class, Lana gives her students an assignment. When she asks if everything is clear, Benny raises his hand with a provocative question. Did the principal give you this job as a favor? The whole class laughs. Lana threatens to report him to the principal, but Benny goes further, making inappropriate comments. This infuriates Lana. She grabs Benny's backpack and throws it out of the classroom. Either you leave this class, or I will, she declares. In the chaos, someone throws an eraser that almost hits Lana. The defeated teacher runs out of the classroom while students celebrate their victory. Even at home, Lana finds no peace. When she's helping Raya with homework, someone persistently calls her phone, but when she answers, there's only silence on the other end. Who keeps calling her? The next day, Lana arrives at school early and discovers that Benny is already sitting in the classroom, waiting for her. Frightened, she goes to the administrator and reports that she's not feeling well. Lana goes home on sick leave. That evening, while preparing dinner, Ward asks his wife how her day went. Lana lies again, saying she spent the whole day at school, teaching and checking exam papers. The next day, after dropping Raya off at school, instead of going to work, Lana drives to the river and eats an apple. Then she visits a museum and looks at paintings. Suddenly she notices Benny there. Seeing her stalker, she panics and tries to escape from him. But in the elevator, Benny catches up with her. I missed you, so I wanted to come to school. He moves closer to touch her lips. Lana, losing control, almost crosses the line, but Benny just pushes her away. This guy is driving her crazy. That night, Lana has terrible nightmares about her family leaving her. She wakes up in a panic. The next day, Lana sneaks into the school administrator's office and steals exam papers. When all the students go to the cafeteria for lunch, the teacher plants the stolen papers in Benny's coat to frame him. Later, Lana sits in the staff room with other teachers and watches as security guards detain Benny and take him away. Her plan worked. Benny is expelled from school for the alleged theft of exam papers. But with Benny gone, Lana starts missing him. She remembers those intense moments they had together, that forbidden attraction to the student she framed so she wouldn't have to see him anymore. One day, Lana and Raya visit a bookstore. Raya wants to buy a gift for her friend, but she gets distracted by a stuffed animal and insists on buying it. When Lana refuses, an offended Raya disappears. For 45 minutes, Lana desperately searches for her daughter. She asks security to check the surveillance footage. The recording shows that Benny was following them around the store. Lana truly panics when she realizes the girl left the store alone and the stalker noticed her. Then a call comes in. Ward reports that Raya has returned home and she's safe. That night, while the whole family sleeps, Lana keeps hearing knocking at the door. Maybe it's just her imagination, but the fear is real. Lana slowly leaves the bedroom. She locks all the doors and windows, but secretly she fantasizes about Benny coming to her tonight. Would he kiss her? All night Lana immerses herself in imagination until Ward's alarm interrupts her trance in the morning. Her husband hugs her, but the woman is cold toward him. In the next scene, Lana is already driving to Benny's house. She parks at a distance to watch his home. Soon she notices Benny on his scooter and secretly follows him. Soon they end up on a deserted road. And here the story takes its darkest turn. Lana speeds up in her car and deliberately rams Benny's scooter. He crashes badly onto the pavement, and Lana stops the car, not believing what happened. She had to kill her student. Only this way would she know for sure that nothing between them would ever be possible again. And this is where the film ends. Friends, subscribe to my channel, Movie Girl,